Hi and good day to the panel. My name is Pang Hock Lai. Today I would like to present my Viva presentation. My title is Feature Selection and Classification of Hyperspectral Data for Length Cover Mapping. My supervisor is Dr. Edwin. There have few some content I would like to include today, which is introduction, objective, methodology and analysis, result, discussion, and conclusion. Introduction. Since I am using the Prisma hyperspectral image to do my classification, so I will introduce the Prisma hyperspectral sensor. Prisma hyperspectral sensor record the data in 231 bands. Prisma hyperspectral sensor also provide more band selection for the user to select and use the band with most information to be extracted. Next, the availability in the largest amount of band of hyperspectral dataset allow the detailed analysis of the Earth's surface. But the high dimensionality of the hyperspectral data bring the undesirable time-consuming computation and overfitting in the class modeling. Jensen 2007. To conclude that, high redundancy is present in the hyperspectral data due to the high correlation between the spectral bands. Therefore, dimensionality reduction by using the feature selection is necessary and possible. Next. In my research had two objectives. So for first objective is to test the spectral sensitivity of Prisma hyperspectral data. The second objective is to examine the feature extraction algorithm for hyperspectral data. Next. Methodology. In the methodology, I have data acquisition. I am using the Prisma image from the downloading from the Prisma website. After I done for my data acquisition, I will use the image to do my study area subsetting. So from the image of subset, I will class the training sample and testing sample selection. They have total 8 class for my classification, so that each class have 150 samples. For the 150 sample, I will divide it into 75 sample for the training sample, and another 75 sample will include in the testing sample. So I can manage to do the length cover classification in the pre-processing. So in the pre-processing, I am divided into two ways. The first way is I am using the training sample to do the image classification using the selective band, and support vector machine classified will use it to do the length cover classification. After I get the output from the length cover classification from the first way, I will use the testing sample to do my accuracy assessment. Meanwhile, for the second way, I will extract all the reflectance band mean value for the 8 classes. For the data from the reflectance band mean value for the 8 classes, I will use it to do my feature selection in the processing. So in the feature selection, I will using two methods. The first method is variable importance from the machine learning algorithm. The second method is forward and backward selection. Once I get the output for the feature selection, I will use the result for the feature selection to do the image classification using selected band. And then the support vector machine is sent to the first way. I am using the support vector machine classified to do the length cover classification in the processing. After I done for my length cover classification and the result from the length cover classification, I will use the training sample to do my accuracy assessment. So for the result of accuracy assessment in the part 1 and the accuracy assessment in the part 2, I will use both accuracy assessment to do the result comparison. So the result comparison I will use it to do the data analysis. So next, study area. The image is I'm using the Prisma hyperspectral image, and I obtained from the 25 March 2020. So from the image I selected in the Seremban. So Seremban is chosen as my study area because of the Seremban is covered with established concrete building in the majority. Vegetation areas such as oil palm is minority, land cover over the Seremban. So it is possible to classify the small features on the Seremban with using the hyperspectral imagery because of the pixel containing in that image has different type of spectral features. So from the image, we can see the red circle. The red circle is I wanted the study area that will be used to subject, and the right side is the subjected hyperspectral image. The study area has been selected because it has consists of 8 classes that can be used to do my classification. So the area will be selected. Next. So for the processing, I am using the 3 types of method to do my classification. The first method is selective band selection. The second method is variable importance from the machine learning algorithm. The third method is forward and backward selection. These 3 methods I will use the training sample and testing sample to do the land cover classification and accuracy assessment. And the training sample will be used in the land cover classification. The testing sample will be used in the accuracy assessment. All the ratio for the training and sample will be 50-50, which is 75 for the training sample and 75 for the testing sample for the each classes. Next. This is my classification result with using the method of selective band selection. And then the support vector machine classified will be applied to do the classification. The ratio is 50-50. The result from the accuracy assessment show an overall accuracy obtained from the method of selective band with 83.28%. The kappa coefficient is 0.7940. User accuracy ranged from the 54.39% to 99.40%. So meanwhile, the producer accuracy ranged from the 35.67% to the 98.40%. The brown range of accuracy indicates a severe confusion of secondary forest and developing land with other land cover classes. The user accuracy reflects the reliability of the classification to the user. So from the result can conclude that the water and the urban residential was be found to be reliable with 99.40% and 91.96% of user accuracy respectively. Next, this is the second method of classification result of using feature selection, variable importance, and this method has been selected the 20 span to do the classification. And support vector machine classifier will be applied to do the classification, and the ratio is 50-50. The result from the accuracy assessment show an overall accuracy obtained from the method of feature selection variable important with 81.77%. The kappa coefficient is 0.7748. User accuracy range from the 56.42% to the 98.16%. Meanwhile, for the producer accuracy range from the 24.02% to the 98.04%. The bound range of accuracy indicates a several confusion of secondary forest and developing land with other land cover classes. From the result can conclude that the water and urban residential will be found to be reliable with 98.16% and 91.88% of user accuracy respectively. So next is the classification result of using the feature selection method, which is backward, forward, and backward selection. In this feature selection method, it has been selected 7 bands to do the land cover classification. Support weather machine classifier will be applied to do the classification, and the ratio is 50-50. The result from the accuracy assessment show an overall accuracy obtained from the method of feature selection, backward, forward, and backward selection, with 80.13%. The kappa coefficient is 0.7544. User accuracy range from the 34.53% to the 97.10%. Meanwhile, the producer accuracy range from the 6.74% to 97.51%. The bound range of accuracy indicates a several confusion, especially in the secondary forest to other land cover classification classes. So from the result, water and urban residential will be found to be reliable with 97.10% and 90.62% of user accuracy respectively. Next is the classification result. So I'm using the 3 types of method, which is the selective band. Second is feature selection variable important. The third method is feature selection, backward, forward, and selection. So for the classification result, there is no slightly different for the classification of, and then the overall accuracy is not slightly different from each other, and both of the overall accuracy is above the 80%. So for the objective one, is achieved by the testing the spectral sensitivity for each of the land cover classes in the classification result with using the Prisma image. So the objective two is achieved by comparing the overall accuracy of each classes use the features acceleration algorithm in the support vector machine classified for my classification result. Next, for in the discussion, overall this accuracy, the support vector machine classified with the selective band has the highest accuracy, but the processing time taking a very long time when compared to the feature selection method. So for the feature selection method, variable important accuracy has a slightly smaller than the selective band method, but the processing time are much more reduced when compared to another two methods. Next, so we look at the user accuracy for the Prisma hyperspectral image. In the Prisma hyperspectral image, there is a low accuracy in the developing land and secondary forest, which is the developing land with 59.77% accuracy, and then the secondary forest with the 54.39% accuracy. For the Prisma hyperspectral image, it has high accuracy at the water, urban and residential, and oil palm. The water with 99.40% accuracy, the urban and residential with 91.96%, and last is the oil palm with 85.34% accuracy. So next, we look at the classification accuracy by the different algorithm on Prisma dataset. In this research, I am using three types of methods to do my classification. The first method is selective band. The second method is variable importance. The third method is backward, forward, and backward selection. In the first method, selective band, support weather machine is applied and the ratio is 50-50. The overall accuracy for this selective band method is 83.28, which is it has a highest overall accuracy for my classification, and the kappa coefficient is 0.7940. But the processing time with taking 261 seconds to done my classification. So it is sure that there is more highest classification processing time when compared to another feature selection method. For the second method is the feature selection variable importance. In this feature selection method, it will be used the transit span to do my classification. The overall accuracy for the variable importance is 81.77. The overall accuracy is slightly lower than the selective band method, and the kappa coefficient for this method is 0.7748. And we look at the processing time, it is taking the 73 seconds to done my classification. It maybe has a 4 to 5 times when compared to the selective band method. The processing time is much more reduced when compared to the first method. And now we look at the third method, which is the stepwise forward and backward selection. In this feature selection method, I am using the 7 band to do my classification. In this method, the overall accuracy is 80.13%, and show that it has most lowest overall accuracy, but both of the methods is sure that have above the 80 overall accuracy. So for the kappa coefficient for this method is 0.7544. In the processing time, it taking the 56 seconds to done my classification. It is taking the most little time to finish my classification. Next. So for the conclusion, the neural spectrum of wavelength collected in a Prisma hyperspectral image is proved have more sensitive to the urban features. So by comparing and visualize the performance of higher classification result, the Prisma hyperspectral image has a better classification in the urban mapping. In this study, the overall accuracy of lane cover classification with using the support vector machine classified over the Seremban provide a slightly higher with using the selective band method. Due to the largest computation cost, it affects the processing time in classification. So, however, feature selection is proved to be better and effectiveness applied in the hyperspectra to do the classification. Since, from the result we can view that the processing time of the feature selection using the variable importance from the machine learning algorithm and stepwise forward and backward selection is slightly reduced. and the overall accuracy are not significant difference. So the result of this study is useful as a guide applied to the further study in the hyperspectral image for the performing feature selection in the lane couple classification. Therefore, it can be used to reduce the heavy data computation and improve the processing time. Next. This is all from me. Thank you for your listening.